Once again, it's a blessed day that we meet, family. I'm so excited to be with you once again. Hope you had a very blessed weekend. We are so excited once again to meet on live with Chatufa as we continue to be giving you updates of what is happening in our country, around our neighbors, and all over the world. EMMERSON Mnangagwa continues with his character of self-destruction as we see him arresting scores of opposition members who were attending Mboneni's memorial in Gweru. One would ask himself why EMMERSON Mnangagwa continues to be vindictive and wanting to just throw tantrums all the time and creating more problems for himself, while he still has quite a big problem with the timber and team that he has arrested in Harare. So you can see that the attitude of Mnangagwa is just a self-destructive attitude, which he wants to continue to portray while things are not looking good in the country. He still continues to stir up the waters, and one wonders why he has to be doing such kind of thing when things are not looking good already in the country. So Promise Mkwananzi is just written that chaos in Gweru as regime enters optimum self-destructive mode. Hundreds of people who were attending Mboneni's memorial have been arrested and currently being held in Gweru. The regime's panic has reached self-destructive levels. We urge citizens to continue to carry out lawful and peaceful programs. Thousands of Zimbabweans fought and died for the rights that we have today. We are entitled to these rights, and we will not surrender our rights to a few individuals bent on plundering this country and reversing our hard-won political rights and civil liberties. Exactly. So this is what it is. We are seeing quite the issue of arrest continues to be happening in the country, with Mnangagwa, viciously using the police to want to thwart anything, any gatherings, whether they can be funeral, memorials, or meetings that are being held in private residences, like what we have seen happening in Harare. And one would even continue to ask, to say, why is Mnangagwa always for controversy? I've said it many times that Mnangagwa he likes controversy. He doesn't like peace. He doesn't like to, stay without any issues that are burning every time. And no matter how much the issues are weighing down on him, because obviously speaking, the country right now is at a very volatile stage where some other issues need to be avoided. But you see, the spirit that is in Mnangagwa is just a spirit of destruction. It's a very spirit that is going to lead to their downfall eventually, because the more they want to make the citizens of Zimbabwe angry, the more they are risking even their very existence. I wish that at this point we'll get to a point where Mnangagwa would play very far away from provoking the Zimbabwean people. You still remember Ostalo Sis was speaking at the courts, and him saying that Mnangagwa should stop provoking Zimbabweans, and yet he doesn't listen. Mnangagwa wants to come back and start to blame the leadership, start to blame Zimbabweans, and yet he is the very first culprit who starts provoking people that are quiet, people that are peaceful, people that are just carrying on with their normal activities, especially in a lawful manner. Because the Constitution of Zimbabwe continues to give Zimbabweans a right to gather, a right to belong to any political gathering, a right to choose any political party or leadership that they may want to follow. But Mnangagwa thinks that he is a God unto himself, he's a law unto himself. He forgets about the law, he forgets about the Constitution and the rights that are enshrined in the Constitution that are for the Zimbabwean people. So we are watching to see where Mnangagwa is going to get to. But like I've said, Mnangagwa continues to, he's shaking the hornet's nest, and what is going to be the resultant at the end of the day, he will not like it, because he must not continue to challenge and to think that Zimbabwean people are going to be docile forever. That is a wrong conception. I've heard many times people saying that Zimbabweans are coward, Zimbabweans are this, Zimbabweans are that. I don't believe that is cowardice. I believe that God has just decided to hold on to the anger of the Zimbabwean people so that Zimbabweans don't lose their lives, because he has a master plan. God is a plan of how he is going to do down ZANU-PF, and he doesn't want to have a loss of life, because Mnangagwa is bloodthirsty. He can kill people unnecessarily, and people that have died in the war of liberation are enough. The bloodshed that has been seen in Zimbabwe has been too much in the eyes of God, and God does not want Zimbabwe to be free again this time around through bloodshed. This is why I am strongly believing that the Lord is just holding on to the Zimbabwean people, like a rider of a horse who's holding to the bridles to make sure that the horse does not bolt. But a time may come that the Lord may just allow the horse to bolt. And if ever that happens, Mnangagwa and ZANU-PF will never like it. They will never believe what they will be seeing. But it will be actually marking the end of this tyranny and this regime of oppression that has caused the suffering of the Zimbabwean people for many, many years. 44 years is not a joke under oppression, under dictatorship that we have seen being perpetrated by on the Zimbabwean people by this ZANU-PF regime. So we are yet to follow up to see what is happening in Gweru, what is the status quo. But I'm sure you will find that anyone who is going to be arrested during these days, Mnangagwa is not going to be just releasing them as early as possible. He will want to make sure that he puts fear in the Zimbabwean people. All this is because of the upcoming SADC summit. Mnangagwa wants to make sure that he frightens Zimbabwean citizens so that they don't go along in planning about the demonstrations that need to be done during the SADC summit, if indeed the SADC summit eventually is held in Harare, because now it is becoming a bit tricky whether SADC will proceed to have its summit in Zimbabwe, because many other countries are beginning to lobby against the summit being held in Zimbabwe because of some of the utterances and the behavior of Mnangagwa attacking countries like Zambia and Malawi, who happen to be member states of the SADC block. So we are watching to see whether this is going to proceed. If it proceeds, then of course the citizens of Zimbabwe still are talking to each other about the demonstrations that are supposed to be happening in Zimbabwe. And Mnangagwa knows that he can't do anything during those demonstrations, especially in the presence of international leaders and leaders of SADC. So we are watching to see what is going to be happening, but definitely the lawyers really need to be engaged to continue to put more pressure on these captured courts of Mnangagwa to release these people. These people are innocent. I don't know why he has to arrest people attending a memorial service or a memorial gathering. For what reason? So you can see that the ZANU-PF and Mnangagwa are in a panic mode. They are not even willing to see any people that are gathering, any people that are standing as a group or sitting as a group somewhere discussing. They will quickly think that, oh, these guys are already planning to push us out. And they know that the possibility of them falling through such mass demonstrations is very, very high. So that's why he's trying to thwart and silence any kind of plans to gather or any gatherings whatsoever for whatever reasons, because he wants to protect his rule, his stay in power. But he's not going to succeed, because the time of the end of ZANU-PF has finally come, and ZANU-PF is going to collapse whether they like it or not. Let's continue to gather, let's continue to push, let's continue to put pressure on ZANU-PF to make sure that freedom of the Zimbabwean people is realized. God is in it, and the freedom of the Zimbabwean people is coming, and we shall be free, and free indeed. So family, I really appreciate you for joining me on the show. Please don't forget to subscribe to this channel. As always, we give you updates, we give you swift updates whenever things happen in the nation. And also put a comment and a like. We want to also hear what you think. Is Mnangagwa not digging his own grave by continuously attacking the opposition members and arresting people that are innocent? Is he not going to end up, igniting a fire that is going to be too much for him even to contain? So I don't know what you think. You tell us on the comment section box. Otherwise, thank you so much for joining me on the show. Let us meet again in the next update. Remain blessed.